Hi, in this episode, we're going to talk about the dd command. Now, this command in Linux is used to copy data at the low level, meaning the bits and the bytes, for copying and converting files. It's also used to create backups of partitions and disks. It can write ISO images to USB to create bootable media. Of course, it can also be used to actually absolutely wipe out a disk by writing a number of zeros, even though the disk is erased, to completely wipe out the data that is in that disk. So the dd command have a lot of uses when it comes to copying and converting files at the low byte level. The example includes writing dd, naming an input file or a device, and naming an output file or a device, and of course, setting the necessary block size. You do have to be careful when using it in order to avoid accidental data loss, because it will completely convert a file or write a file to a new disk, removing everything that is on it. So coming up in the next lab, we're going to show how to use the dd command for copying and converting files. Please join us in that next lab. In this episode, we're going to talk about the dd command. This command is primarily used for copying and converting data at the byte level. It makes good use in copying raw data between files, disks, or partitions. So to show you kind of how it works, I'm going to go ahead and open up the terminal and show you around. I have a etc.tar.zip, or I also have etc.tar. And in this example, what I'm going to do is actually copy this tar file to some location that I have. So let's take a look. I do have this new partition that I created in SDB1. So let's say that I'm using the dd command. My input file will be home administrator etc.tar, and my output file will be then my new directory, which is called new partition. And I can I will give the name here, etc.tar. So that'll be my input file. I'm taking the input from one device and putting the output into another device. Again, I do have to actually run sudo behind it. So let's do that. And we can see that immediately it copied all the records from my etc.tar and converted and created a new file inside that new partition directory. Now let's go take a look at new partition. We can see that etc.tar is copied at the byte level from one place to another. This is the very basics of using the dd command, although you can find other important uses for it, such as wiping out an older partition or a disk at the byte level by simply rewriting those bytes in that hard disk all to zeros as an example. So I'll close this episode here. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.